Welcome to a special edition of Future Covers as Puck Props. 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. We're hitting the American Thanksgiving slate. I mean, we're a pretty good chunk of the season in, and these future markets are starting to show their way. And some of the books aren't that quick to move some of these odds. So for reference, everything here, all the odds courtesy of Sports Interaction. Let's get right to it, pal. Let's get to the big one. MVP, Hart. Matthews is up there at plus 700. Nylander's 40 to 1. Is that too big of a difference between the two at this point?
I think it absolutely is. And because you look at this season that Nylander's having, he's leading the team in points, but he's also very close to leading the team in goals. The things that separates Matthews from the rest is that he plays center and he's known for being a 60 goal scorer because he did it once in his career. And his percentage of scoring, his pace per goal or goal pace is almost close to a goal a game. But William Nylander is making a case for himself in a lot of categories, including the Hart. And I know it's still early in the season, but you just look at the way he's impacted the games. You go back to the two games in Sweden, he was the sole reason why that team came back and won both those games. So if you're strictly going with value here, you got to go with William Nylander here because the payout is a lot bigger and a lot better.
Yeah, but then we're looking at some of the other favorites, like David Pasternak's second in points per game. He's plus 600. But I honestly don't think no skater means more than his team than Jack Hughes, who shortened up so much now. He's about plus 500. We saw what they were without him. They kind of didn't have an offensive identity. But I still think Hughes should be the betting favorite. No?
Yeah. Absolutely. It shouldn't be Connor McDavid. Yeah. I'm throwing in the towel on the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know how you fix what is ailing there. People want to scream and yell at the goaltender, but if you watch this team play defense, they have nobody that is even interested in playing defense right now. So until you fix that, nothing's going to change in Edmonton. I just think that, they look at American Thanksgiving, which we're at this week, that's the sort of time in the season where you can really judge who's going to be a playoff team and who's not. 10 points out to make up at the end of the year with the question marks that they have, unless they go out and they trade, a quarter of their lineup. Yeah. I don't see it happening. And so, people want to be weary about jumping off the Connor McDavid train, but I think right now is appropriate to do so because there's so many other players that are having better and impactful season. I think a very sneaky one to look at here is Cale Makar. We talked about William Nylander at 40 to 1. Why not?
He had the Norris showdown last night and stripped Quinn Hughes and then
right. Yes. And he's up there in the points leader too, led behind those Vancouver guys. Why couldn't he be a nice value play at 40 to 1 and finally have a defenseman win that award?
Yeah, that was going to lead to my other point. Quinn Hughes is tied for the league in scoring. 30 to 1 still seems too short for him. I mean,
I see more of a drop off with Vancouver than I do with Colorado. That's the thing. And I could be wrong. And I hope I am because Vancouver's been a great story led by Demko and net. And it's amazing when you have a good goaltender, how much success you can have, not just as a coach, but, as individual players on your team. So, Quinn Hughes could definitely be that, but I see Cale Makar taking another level to his game where this is the highest we've seen and the best we've seen Quinn Hughes play.
Yeah, I like that point. I like the idea if you're looking between Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar, if you want a defenseman to win the MVP, I think the money is there on Cale Makar at 40 to 1, basically. Let's jump ships over to the fickle people that are goalies. Did you ever board a room with a goalie?
It's a good question. Goalies always had their own rooms.
Yeah,
they're weirdos.
They're super weird human beings. And this year in general is just absolutely insane at the lack of goaltending. Everybody needs goaltending. I mean, you look at even the Devils need goaltending, Edmonton needs goaltending, Toronto needs goaltending. There's a lot of Someone's going to overpay for a goalie sooner or later.
Right, but I think the way we view goaltending position has to change too, right? I mean, gone are the days where guys play 70-plus games. So you're looking at who's going to succeed more in a tandem situation is what I would think. I mean,
So that brings me to Aiden Hill. Like everyone was talking about what happened with Las Vegas last year, right? Now Hill comes out 9-2-1. He's number one in goals against average at 1.9 or 1.97, second in save percentage behind Swayman at 932, and he's 16-1 right now. Drop off or buy or sell, or I mean, obviously your man Jake Ottinger's at the top. He's hard to push over, but is Aiden Hill something someone should look at?
Absolutely. The guy won a Stanley Cup last year. I mean, why not? If Vegas continues this streak of dominance that they're showing earlier on in the season, he has to start getting some recognition for sure. And then you're getting, good value on him at, 15-1 on his Vezina Trophy odds. But you mentioned Swayman. Why not look at the Boston guys again?
Just stack them both, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're getting amazing value on both. Swayman's 13-1 and Allmark's 25. Did Allmark win it last year?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I mean, you're getting good value on these goaltenders, and I think there's really no wrong or no right. I mean, I think the worthy guys at the top, Ottinger, Demko, Shesterkin, Hellebuyck, yeah, those are the spicy favorites, but look at the value you're getting on some of these underdogs that are playing on really good teams.
Cam Talbot is 9-3-1 with a 2-0.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to hold up. I don't think that's going to hold up.
Yeah, he's plus 2,500. But no, I think the better move is Hill with the better team, the better defensive team in front of him, confidence. And then, I mean, there's nothing wrong with stacking both those Boston guys, because if one goes down, they're both going. But we already saw last year, I think Allmark was sub 50 games, and he was the first sub 50 game Vezina winner. So, I mean, the voting could be changing quite easily. Let's jump into your forte, bud. Norris. Defenseman of the year. It's become a point race at this time. Quinn Hughes, betting favorite heading into the Thanksgiving weekend, plus 150, but he played Cale Makar, and old Cale kind of outshone him a bit on Wednesday night. Yeah. Makar's plus 250. This is a two-horse race absolutely right now, and we could be looking a month later, and Makar could be easily minus 150, minus 200.
Right. No? You're absolutely right, and I love both players. I know Quinn a little more than I know Cale, but watching both players just absolutely make me jealous of the way they play defense and the way they can skate and create offense. But I think, the odds speak for themselves. When those two guys are so low on the odds and everybody else is so high on the odds, it's pretty safe to say that it's going to be one of these two guys making it. I would love to see Quinn Hughes win it, because it'd be a great story on what he's helping Vancouver accomplish, where Cale Makar has already been established, already won this award, won a Stanley Cup. But I think it's pretty safe to say, we talked about Hart Trophy winner, Cale Makar could be that guy. I mean, we talked about Erik Karlsson scoring 100 points last year. If Cale Makar scores 100 points plus this year, playing on a team like the Avalanche, he's going to be a worthy candidate for both awards. And I think you're getting better value at Makar right now at plus 250 than you are at Quinn Hughes plus 150.
Yeah, these are the things with these future markets. They don't always flip day to day. They don't get that updated. But I think going outside of the Thanksgiving weekend after what happened Wednesday with the Colorado-Vancouver game, I think Cale Makar becomes the betting favorite. And he might be worth a buy point at plus 200, because like I said, give it a month and this guy could be minus 200. I mean, is he a top 5 player in the league? Like, if you had to redraft, if you pulled all the GMs and said, "Ta-da, is Quinn Hughes?"
No,
exactly.
No, you make a great point for sure.
For sure. See how easy that was? Yeah. So easy being a GM.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some snipers here. The Rocket leading goal scorer. Are you rushing out to buy Austin Matthews as the betting favorite at plus 250?
I'm not. And look, the thing for me is, I said this earlier in the year when everybody was saying, "Oh, he's a 60 goal scorer." I'm like, he's done it once in his career, and everyone's like, "Yeah, but look at his goal pace per game." And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you could say that about the advanced stats for a lot of people. At the end of the day, you got to go out and do it. Is he one of the best goal scorers in the game? 1,000,000%, yes. But I factor in this schedule for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who just played 2 games in the last 2 weeks. So guess what's going to happen down the rest of the stretch of the season? They're going to have to make up those days, which means their schedule is going to get more condensed, which means they're going to have to deal with more fatigue, probably more aches and pains. Yeah, I don't wish injury upon anybody, but Matthews over the last couple of years has had stuff nag him. He's gotten off to a great start. Do I expect him to score 40 plus? Yes. Do I expect him to hit 50 or 60? No, I don't expect him to do that, because you got a guy like Will Nylander right now who's helping lead the charge for him too, and helping supplement some of that goal scoring that the Maple Leafs have in their lineup. So, and there's no value there. I mean, plus 150, like there's no value at bringing in Austin Matthews. To me, it's too chalky. Pasternak's even a too chalky. Me and you both like this next guy, and that's Kyle Connor.
Boom.
I mean,
Kyle Connor. Like, no one, like, people are forgetting what he did 2 seasons ago.
Right.
Put up
50.
47.
Sorry,
now,
almost 50. Almost 50. Yes.
And now it's one of the best scoring offense. It is the highest scoring offense in November. We saw it
tied for the league lead in goals too, with I think Matthews, I believe he's tied with, right? Yeah,
14,
Matthews.
Yeah. So I mean, 15-1 area around for Kyle Connor, who, I mean, if you look at props, you see the guys who have the 3.5 shot prop on goals day to day. That's Connor. That's Pasternak. Like, he's in that contention. I don't see. I'm not out there and running out to get Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl ahead of him. I don't think. I mean, Kucherov at 25-1 is sexy. He's shooting the puck, but I think Connor there is the best value play, as he's just outside the top 4 of the big dogs.
Right. So I'm trying to find a JT Miller prop, and his name's not listed on here.
Yeah, it's some, like, for some of these situations, if he wasn't listed early in the year and they had like at the field, like, you can't add him later in the thing, but like he's certainly. So what number what number you want JT Miller at?
Well, he's got 13 goals, one behind the lead, and he's playing on a team that has guys that are in the top 3 in scoring with Hughes and Pettersson. So he's going to find himself in those scoring situations just because he's playing with those guys. I mean, any number you find JT Miller at. I mean, I'm looking at Mikko Rantanen, who has 12 goals, 1 less than JT Miller, and he's 20-1. So I think JT Miller at 20-1.
I think if he pops up somewhere, I think you're looking 50-1.
50-1, even better. I mean, why not?
Yeah, maybe keep an eye out for that. So where are we? Let's kind of recap here. I mean, for the Hart, we were leaning, like, we did the comparison of Matthews and Nylander, but Nylander at 40-1 is
way better value.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And then I think we're kind of on what did we get Cale Makar at? What was around 40?
Quinn Hughes, I think it was 40. Yeah, 40-1.
Yeah, so there's some big shots of the Hart, because I mean, the teams aren't really pulling away, and there's a lot of teams that can will themselves in, and teams that need to be making the playoffs who really aren't. On the Vezina side, I know you started out with Jake Oettinger to begin the year. I think we had him at about 13-1. He's shortened up. He's become the favorite with Demko. But both goalies stacking the Boston goalies at 13-1, 25-1, respectively. And then Aiden Hill is somewhere, needs to be talked about at 16-1 with that team in front of him. I think we can agree on that. And then we had the Norris conversation. And I think if you can get Cale Makar at a longer price than Quinn Hughes right now, you'll be certainly thanking yourselves in a month's time, as long as that man can stay healthy, because he showed he can take over a game. And we came to a pretty quick consensus that that's a top 5 player in the entire league. And then goal scorers. It's not Matthews. I'm sorry, he could by the end of the year, but he's not. I mean, plus
there's no value in it. There's no value in it.
And I mean, he scored 6 goals in 2 games. He's sitting with 14. He's probably scored the majority of his goals in 3 games. Maybe look at someone instead, like Kyle Connor, plus 1,500. Team scoring 47 goals 2 years ago. I mean, goal scorers, like, you can attest to it. I think as you kind of get older, there's that prime. Like, you don't jump into the league and become a 50-goal scorer. There takes some time. Yeah, it's there is some age and skill. There's a little Venn diagram between the two of it.
Yeah. So here's a sneaky one for you.
Uh-oh.
Connor Bedard.
Right?
You just mentioned, has there ever been a guy come into the league and lead the league in scoring? I tell you what, I've been on this I've been barking up this tree since they drafted Connor Bedard and they went through the offseason. The reason why I can't fully buy into Connor Bedard leading any sort of statistical what do you call it? Metric is because he doesn't have anybody to play with.
He's got nobody to play with.
If he had someone to play with that can be comparable to his play and even to his skill set, yeah, maybe we are having the argument that he could be the guy. I mean, he's got 10 goals in 13 games as a rookie.
Yeah, you know? The old he's not looking to pass, that's for sure.
Right? So
no, that toe drag release is absolutely insane. It's silly. And somewhere around the 50-1 range. So if you're looking for a long shot in there, and I mean, he's getting the minutes. Like they got crushed by Columbus, and he was still out there getting big minutes. So there's something there for the boys, a little 50-1 action on Bedsy. But that's I think that's kind of where we're looking at. I think right now is a good buy point for NHL futures.
Absolutely.
Especially here's a sneaky betting angle with all eyes basically on all football this weekend, Thanksgiving weekend football. The markets are a little less efficient. So now's a great buy time. So I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. Hope you enjoyed a little insight into what we think are some great NHL futures going into the month of December. We'll see you back here for more NHL Puck Props brought to you by Covers.
Ciao.